The Women on Target clinic that we put on will be April the 13th. This is a program that's promoted by the National Rifle Association, and we put on this clinic twice a year in the springtime and in the fall. This is an introduction to handgun shooting. The participants range from age 9 to 87. That's the spread that we've had as far as ages go. $25 per person. That gets them a 2.5-hour lecture with our Chief Range Safety Officer, Chelsea Zimmerman. Then we provide lunch. After the lunch break, the ladies can go out to our 50-yard shooting range, and we'll have about 12 instructors there, and they all bring anywhere from 5 to 15 different handguns. And so the participants are able to shoot 3 or 4 handguns with each instructor, and then they move around, Red Robin, going around from different tables. We've had a few people shoot up to 30 different handguns in one of these clinics.
Wow, so the participants are going to get to learn multiple skills with different types of weapons. That's interesting.
Yes, it's mostly handguns. We do have a few rifles that some of the instructors will bring, and they're mostly .22 caliber, but it just allows them the opportunity to handle different firearms, specifically handguns. They get to shoot those in the presence of a firearms instructor who helps review the different steps that the participants were shown in the early morning hours during the classroom portion of the clinic. And also, this is actually a phenomenal event for any gal who is interested in purchasing a handgun, whether it be for concealed carry purposes, for competition shooting, or just coming out and shooting at paper targets or at steel targets. It's kind of a try before you buy atmosphere.
I think that's very important because some people, they may purchase a weapon before they fully understand the feel of it and so forth. For example, myself, I prefer a revolver. That's just me. I mean, yes, I can use a semi-auto, I can use a long gun, but I like the feel of a revolver. I'm most comfortable with it. I'm the most accurate with it. And it sounds like this is going to give these women the same opportunity to figure out what feels right to them.
Exactly. And Chelsea will tell them, I'll tell them, and so will other staff members. Try all these different handguns. They bring some paper with them and pens so they can write down different handguns that feel good in their hands. Even though many of these firearms on initial impression all look the same, they don't feel the same. This is a benefit that the gals can get from this type of program. As you know, being a guy, we usually end up seeing something on television or a magazine, and we go out and buy that particular firearm. And then we realize, oh, this isn't really what I was expecting, and it sits in the gun safe, or we end up, selling it off to go get something else. And that can be kind of an expensive behavioral pattern. For anybody who's owned a few guns, they know exactly what I'm referring to. Then you have your safe queens, where you have a gun and you're so embarrassed that you bought it, it never sees the light of day.
Yeah, I've known people like that. As far as buying the guns from just laying eyes on it, I ended up with a Smith & Wesson 9mm. Now understand, I am a S&W man, all the way to the core, but I hated that 9mm. It didn't do anything wrong. It was accurate. I hated it. I understand exactly what you mean. We see it, we go, cool, buy it, and then we hate it. So yeah, this gives them an opportunity to avoid that.
So this is it's a very good program. And like I said, it provides an environment that's safe. It's very well paced. One of my staff members, her and her sister, came to one of our last events back in September, and they both mostly hung out with about 3 of our instructors because many of their firearms had suppressors on them. So participants will be able to shoot small guns from like the size of a Derringer all the way up to very large hunting handguns like a 454 Casull. They won't be shooting the 454 Casull cartridge. They'll be shooting 45 Colts. So it's a huge firearm that intimidates many people on first impression. We have found that many of the gals, once we were able to coax them into shooting that larger caliber, physically large revolver, the recoil on it was very comfortable and very easy to shoot, and they really liked that. when they went and shot some of the smaller guns, what we would refer to as pocket pistols, they weren't really pleased with the magnitude of the recoil that the firearm produced. And so it's like I said, it is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to come out and just shoot these guns. It's $25. It's an all-day event. Usually we start at 9 o'clock prompt with the classroom section of the course, and we usually wrap it up by 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
All right, Mark, how does someone get more information about this event if they have any questions or what have you?
At the shooting range, we do have registration forms that the participants can fill out and then write a check or cash, and we staple it to their registration form. They can also go to the two firearms stores there in Alamogordo, Dave's Guns on 10th Street and the Ace Western Hardware on 9th Street. They will have registration forms there. We also have a Facebook page called Sidney Paul Gordon Shooting Range Otero County. If it's not up this week, it will be up next week. A copy of the registration form that can be downloaded, filled out, and then they can mail that in with their check.
All right, Mark, thank you so much for spending some time with me about these concerns and questions. Before I let you go, do you have anything else you'd like to share?
We hope that folks come out. We are doing a lot of improvements to the range, and we happen to have several different organizations that use our range. We have a shooting club that meets 3 times a month with different shooting activities there at the range. We also have the only active chapter in all of New Mexico for a Girl and a Gun Women's Shooting League, and they can pick up information on that off of our Facebook page for any of the gals that would be interested in joining that shooting league. It's a lot of fun. They meet twice per month there at the range and get some classroom time, and then they go up on the range and get some trigger time.